I really buy into this this tagline, if you will. When the student is ready, the master will appear. And I just actually told you the story, actually probably a few weeks ago, but about a year before I met you, I was looking for a guide. So I was the student, I was ready. I was looking for that guide, that mentor. In fact, living in Southern California since early 2004, coming out here, having the rage in my eye, the chip in my shoulder, the fire in the belly, I knew that I was cut from a different cloth. I knew that I wanted to serve more. I knew I was meant for something bigger. But at this time, I'm probably about, fast forward 2009, 2010, probably like 24, 25. So I had a couple years experience. I started learning how to sell, but I still needed, a blueprint, if you will. So living in Southern California, I went over to Newport Coast and I wrote up this letter, and basically I passed it off to all these like really wealthy homes. And it was very clear. I was not looking for a handout. But I was looking for a guide, a mentor, if you will. So I dropped off all these notes, and, probably a few months went by and nothing came. But when I finally updated my Facebook profile as certified personal trainer, after going through my own fitness transformation, I started receiving these ads from this dude named Bedros Keuilian, as it turns out, talking about, fitness marketing, how to launch a fitness program, how to grow your clientele, how to get better success. So for me at that period of time, the spark, it was there, and I knew I was meant for something great from an entrepreneur perspective. I learned how to sell, was learning how to sell. So I had confident in my ability there, but I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how to run the operations and all the stuff that goes within a business. But specifically, I inherently knew the tip of the spear, one of the highest qualities and highest income skill sets you can possibly acquire is generating leads, basically marketing. And you were the marketing guy. In fact, you don't teach marketing anymore. You market. I was just talking with Lauren and Pablo off the stage. And it's funny, that's not a passion of yours, although it's something that you do. But
it's just so factory installed for me. I'm just always marketing. I guess I don't necessarily teach it anymore. Yeah. But also, like, there's such better sources that teach it now, like you and others in our ethers, in the Fit Body Bootcamp ethers, who teach it at a much higher level and more in-depth than I ever did, because I'm so disconnected from traditional marketing. I'm now focused on the branding of who we are, what we do.
And also, too, I think your passions change. You really, gravitate to personal growth and development, and that's like been this next evolution, which I think is awesome. Another whole story about identity and that, kind of transformation. But for me, I locked into the marketing, and I think that's a big takeaway. And I also look at it from like a language framework. You come from Armenia, right? If I wanted to learn Armenian, you would be a good, contact to basically look into your eyes and learn Armenian. But if I wanted to learn Chinese, you're probably not the guy to learn Chinese from, right? So when I look at like finding a mentor, it's like, what skill set is extremely valuable to you? What skill set do you really want to acquire? What's your language framework there? And then go find that person. For you, it was marketing. And I kind of put a bow on this story as I went through, following you and, watching your YouTube videos on marketing and content creation, lead generation. Then I was super inspired to become a Fit Body Bootcamp owner. And I was living in Hong Kong the 2 months before I basically came back to Southern California. And at that time, we had a box of DVDs, which is basically the operations of Fit Body, but it's also how to launch your gym and lead generation, all that. And my wife, Tatiana, after probably 6 weeks of me like watching the videos of you teaching marketing, she's like, who is this dude? I was like, this is the guy who's going to teach me how to market to freaking grow the empire. And here we are today.
Yeah. How about that? Like 12-year full circle, which there's a lesson in that as well, right? When you have the desire, you started putting out letters in Newport Coast. I always tell people, like, hey, if you want to get hit by a bus, where would you stand? In the street.
Yep.
Right? If I want to get hit by a bus, I would stand in the street. So you instinctively knew, like, I'm ready to learn entrepreneurship at a high level. Newport Coast is not a cheap place to live.
Right.
We're talking multi-million-dollar oceanfront, beachfront homes. And so you're passing out. You're doing work that no one else will. So many lessons there. One, you're willing to do the work that nobody else will. Handwrite letters, pass them out to homes of wealthy people saying, I'm not looking for a handout. I'm looking for mentorship. So you had the will and the desire. You may not have gotten the outcome from that, and it doesn't seem like anyone called and said, hey, I'm willing to mentor you, but you were willing to do the work and put yourself out there. Who else watching this is willing to put themselves out there and do that level of work instead of just wishing, wanting, and saying one day, but never really pulling the trigger, right? You pull the trigger. And the other part of that is that once you knew what you wanted, you were like, all right, who's out there doing it? Kind of what you said. If you want to learn Armenian, you're going to talk to me. But if you want to learn Chinese, I can't help you. And so we can't just blindly go, that guy's enthusiastic, that person makes good money, so I'm going to go learn from them. Are they making money ethically, morally, true to the core values that you carry? Are they making money in the industry that you want to make money in? right? Are they making money and having a lifestyle that you want, right? Because you and I believe in being fit, having time freedom, and making good money and serving people through fitness. Like, people watching this, listening to this might go, well, that's me too. Great. Then we can mentor you. We can help you. And that's the vehicle to that is Fit Body Bootcamp franchise. But if you just blindly go, someone goes, hey, I want a mentor, and I've heard that person's a good mentor. This is how we end up losing money, wasting time, because the only thing worse than kind of not having a coach or a mentor is getting the wrong mentor and getting bad advice, because it puts you in a deficit and a loss. I've seen so many people run the other way trying to build a business, only for them to then ultimately come find me and coach with me. And I'm like, dude, why were you going that way? Like, well, that's what the mentor said. Well, that worked for them and their business, but your business is different. You need to go this way. Like, that's where the money is. That's where the servitude is. And so there's a lot of things that you just nailed there, but it's important to really bring that to surface.